on Osrc News at 7. Ondo State's government urges residents to sustain cleanliness as festive season approaches. Former President Obasanjo condemns negotiation with terrorists in tackling Nigerians' insecurity. Goodluck Jonathan expresses disappointment over Guinea-Bissau coup.
Thank you very much for joining us on the news tonight. My name is Oyewumi Ayinigbara. Residents of Ondo State have been commended for participating in this month's environmental sanitation exercise across the state. Commissioner for Environment Top Local, who gave the commendation shortly after monitoring compliance of the 3-hour exercise in Akure and its environs, noted that reports from officials at the various local government areas were also positive. Here is the report as presented by Sunday Kolawole.
The 3-hour exercise, which restricted human and vehicular movement, had residents take part to ensure that Ondo State is neat, especially now that the festive season is here. At various junctions, waste vans were sighted evacuating debris. A resident, Mr. Sunday Ogundeji, who lauded the state government for its proactiveness, stressed the need for a cleaner environment.
Cleanliness is same as godliness, right? So what it means is that when you're clean, when the environment is clean, you are likely not going to fall ill. You know, there are so many communicable diseases outside that are very contagious, right? So cleaning the environment and ensuring the environment is clean is part of maintaining good hygiene and, you know, living healthy.
Ondo State Commissioner for Environment, Dr. Tobloko, who expressed satisfaction, assured of a clean and safe Ondo State. While encouraging residents to do more, Loco said the state government is putting in place several measures, including regular sensitization of shop owners at markets, among other places, on the need to see cleanliness as priority.
If you have monitored the turn of events, it was a complete lockdown. That shows that the people are cooperating with us. They stay back at home to make their premises clean. It is the accumulative effect of individual contribution to making his or her environment clean that translates to making Ondo State very clean.
The acting general manager, Ondo State Waste Management Authority, Mr. Dekun Olajumbo, tasked the residents to make sanitation a daily affair.
We have organized the system in such a way that all the refuse should be dumped in their dustbin and wait for the PSP, those who have assigned to their area, to come and pick up all those waste, bringing it indiscriminately, make the job more cumbersome for us. And government has put in machinery in motion to ensure all those people who caught in doing that act will be sanctioned and will be prosecuted accordingly.
Areas visited in Akure during the exercise include Lafe, Ojaoba, Elisha Road, Ondo Road, Okearo, Oloko, among others. Sunday Kolawole, Osrc News.
Ondo State Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa says the inauguration of the Justices of Peace after nearly 17 years of inactivity is aimed at reinforcing justice at the grassroots. Governor Aiyedatiwa, who commended their selection, assured them of government support as they mediate dispute, maintain social order, and promote harmony within their communities. The governor reminded the new appointees that their office is a sacred responsibility requiring integrity, wisdom, decorum, and fairness. Government House correspondent Wahab Bankole reports that the appointees were drawn from all walks of life.
This Justices of Peace inauguration ceremony, held at the International Culture and Event Center at the Dome in Akure, put an end to over 17 years of their inactivity, attended by top government officials, led by Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa and other relevant stakeholders. The event was an opportunity to further strengthen the administration of justice at the grassroots. Attorney General of the state, Kayode Ajulo, traced the justice of the peace institution to its 14th century English origins and its adoption during Nigeria's colonial era. He noted that Ondo State last appointed JPs in 2008 and described the office as a crucial link between government and the communities. He emphasized that appointees were selected based on merit, moral standing, integrity, humility, and commitment to peaceful conduct.
As we face modern challenges from insecurity to waning trust in local governance, the justice of the peace serves as a stabilizing force, fostering harmony and social order. The appointment of the justice of the peace in our state is grounded in Section 12 of the Magistrate Court Law of Ondo State.
The Chief Judge, Justice Olusegun Odushola, represented by Justice Akiton Osadebe, administered the oath and outlined the functions of the JPs. Justice Odushola described the office as legal and quasi-judicial, requiring diligence and impartiality.
It is very defined. Permit me to say that it is a legal quasi-judicial proceedings we are holding today. It is legal and it is quasi-judicial. So we have to take it with the solemnity it requires. It's a very solemn occasion. And that is why it's a judge of the High Court or any judge known that has to administer the oath of office and the oath of allegiance.
Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa described the occasion as a turning point in reinforcing justice at the grassroots. The governor assured them of government support as they mediate disputes, maintain social order, and promote harmony within their communities.
The office of the Justice of the Peace is not only a title, but a sacred responsibility. It is a bridge between our justice system and the everyday lives of our citizens. I must say your appointment carries so much significance, so don't take it for granted like just one of the titles. Each of you stands on the threshold of a crucial role that embodies the essence of our democracy. As justices of the peace, you have a duty to promote fairness while resolving disputes and contributing positively to the overall well-being of our society.
Highlighting the state's broader judicial reforms, Aiyedatiwa noted the recruitment of additional state councils, the expansion of the judiciary, and the near completion of the new judiciary complex, which will feature a ceremonial court, modular courts, and a library, all aimed at supporting the timely delivery of justice.
Your influence will extend beyond your immediate community, and your commitment to justice will leave an indelible mark in the lives you are going to touch. For us as an administration, we are committed to fostering a society where justice prevails and every citizen feels safe, valued, and heard. It is in this regard that we are strengthening the administration of justice system in our state through the appointment of more state councils and increasing the number of judges in the state judiciary.
A total of 130 appointees were drawn from all walks of life, reflecting the diversity and inclusiveness of the state's renewed grassroots justice initiative. From the International Culture and Event Center, the Dome in Akure, Wahab Bankole, Osrc News.
Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has rejected calls for negotiations with bandits, insisting that Nigeria must take decisive action and embrace international assistance to confront escalating insecurity. Obasanjo, who spoke at the Plateau State Unity Christmas Carol and Praise Festival held in Jos, the state capital, asked of the federal government to stop apologizing and negotiating with terrorists. His position comes amid escalating killings, abductions, and other attacks on several communities in the north in recent weeks. Obasanjo expressed displeasure over the rising insecurity, saying Nigerians have the right to seek foreign intervention to cover what would he described as the government's failure to protect its citizens. And in Anambra State, the police command has confirmed the recovery of 2 female bodies believed to be among 3 Cameroonian women who were allegedly kidnapped in the state. The bodies were discovered in the Omambala River, Anambra West local government area of the state. In a statement by the spokesman for the command, SP Kenga Tochukwu, stated that the discovery followed intensive search operations by operatives from the Rapid Response Squad, AWUZU, in collaboration with professional drivers and local volunteers. Ikenga explained that both bodies have been deposited in a mortuary for further examination and necessary investigative procedures. The Commissioner of Police, CP Koye Orutugu, while extending his heartfelt condolences to the bereaved family and friends, has ordered intensified search efforts to recover the remaining missing victims. You're still watching the news on Osrc, and after the break, Goodluck Jonathan expressed disappointment over Guinea-Bissau coup. Please to rejoin us for this and more. Thank you very much for rejoining us. You can watch us live on our website at www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook at OSRC TV, and on YouTube. You can subscribe to our channel OSRC TV Ondo. A serious health concern is emerging, one that is affecting Nigerians in the prime of their lives. Stroke, once considered a disease of the elderly, is now rising sharply among young adults aged 18 to 44. Experts have been speaking on the causes behind this increase and the practical steps Nigerians can take to prevent it. Adewumi Taiwo has the report.
Recent data from the Nigerian Stroke Society and the World Health Organization shows that stroke among young adults has increased by 14% in the last 5 years. In several Nigerian cities, the rate of stroke in people aged 18 to 44 has risen from 17 to almost 28 cases per 100,000, an alarming jump of more than 60%. Health professionals say the trend is driven by a combination of hypertension, diabetes, obesity, prolonged stress, poor mental health management, sedentary lifestyles, and in some cases, recreational drug use. According to the special advisor to the Ondo State Governor on Health, Professor Simidele Odimayo, stroke is no longer a disease of the elderly. He explained that lifestyle habits among young people, poor diet, inadequate exercise, and unmanaged blood pressure are major red flags.
All these are general issues that have to do with all the people in the population. So when you're having it in the young adults too, these days that you do have, as you agree with me, we're having some young adults that are having problem with cholesterol, young people with cholesterol. We're having young people now coming out with blood pressure. We're having young people now that are obese. We have them all over the place. So that now increases the chance. Now, when you are looking at clotting problem, clotting, which we call the hypercoagulability state, is another major issue that you see maybe in other factors, which may not be seen directly in that individual, that can be able to be a factor. So you have them. But beyond that, there are some peculiarities also with young people, like some drugs intake. All these drugs, cannabis, cocaine, all these stimulant drugs, has a way of damaging the the brain and the blood circulation system, causing damage to the blood vessels, and then from there that will further increase the chances of blood clots, which if it's now removed from the present location to another location in the brain, it can cause stroke for such an individual. So you have all those issues that has to do with popularity of drugs abuse and all those things that may be that you can see.
Public health physician Dr. Olumide Aladesuru also emphasized that early recognition of symptoms, lifestyle modification, and stronger health messaging are essential to curb the rising cases.
A number of people will not go to the hospital until something horrible happens, when it may not be able to be reversed, or to be able to reverse it to take a quantum of money. Let me just paint a very simple example. From your office to this place, it's not unlikely if you look out, you will see somebody carrying a can that contains 2-liter things. They call it boboniche and everything. These are drugs that have never been tested. They destroy the body. They do a lot of things. They might have some positive impact on the body, but the negative impact was never worked upon. So these are various things. There are ailments that are said to be ailments of the old, especially this stroke and the like. When you say ailments of the old, maybe from 67, 68, 75, 90, you now see them in 42, 38-year-old. Because of a difficult and what some people will call simple, but which I will call wrong lifestyle. So the body is easy for any attack.
The evidence is clear. Strokes are increasing among young adults, yet many of the risk factors are preventable. Experts insist that by staying active, eating healthier, managing stress, avoiding harmful substances, and regularly checking blood pressure, Nigerians can reduce their chances of coming down with stroke. Adewumi Taiwo, Osrc News.
Nigerians have been urged to embrace self-reliance and seek productive ventures for survival rather than depend on unavailable white-collar jobs. Understate Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa at the launch of the Emerald Rose Women Foundation in Accra, the state capital, stressed the need for self-reliance in a fast-changing world. Osrc's reporter Zimoy BME now brings the details as presented from our studio.
The launch of Emerald Rose Women Foundation attracted dignitaries from within and outside Ondo State to honor the vision behind the initiative. Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa, represented by the Senior Special Assistant on Event Management, Mrs. Adekunle Olubomi, charged citizens to look inward and explore meaningful ventures that can put food on their tables. He emphasized that government cannot do it alone, calling on worthy Nigerians to support initiatives that empower young generation rather than pursuing only personal gains.
As the founder of Emerald Rose Foundation, she is shaping a generation of confident, self-determined women who will stand as equal contributors to Nigeria's progress.
Also, Ondo State Commissioner for Water Resources, Ayodele Akonde, and other dignitaries in their goodwill messages described the founder of the foundation, Mrs. Iwagun, as a dedicated woman whose passion for service dates back to her university years.
So impressed, and the title of the book says The Reputable Woman and Her Lifestyle. And you see the lifestyle of this lady and the book she writes, it pays very much, speaks volume, and I believe she's going to be a good mentor to other ladies coming behind.
Our mission is rooted in nurturing a vibrant community where spiritual growth, self-discovery, and leadership development collectively in part come together to shaping strong, confident, and purpose-driven women. It was a journey. It was a journey. That journey is what we are talking about. That now reflects the output of why we are sitting here today.
The event featured the unveiling of a book titled The Reputable Woman and her lifestyle. The founder, Mrs. Iwagunfaith, said the foundation aims to empower young people and create opportunities for them to strive.
Emerald Rose is not just a regular foundation. Emerald Rose is a divine entity. If you look at Emerald Rose, it's not a rose that exists. It's not lily. It's not the red rose. It is called Emerald Rose. If you think about it, I want you to connect with this event today keenly. Connect with it spiritually.
She reaffirmed her commitment to using her talent to impact on everyone that comes her way.
The Chief Judge of Ogun State, Justice Mosomola Dikpeolu, has urged the judiciary to eliminate all forms of delay and prioritize accelerated hearing of cases of sexual violence. Justice Dikpeolu also called on lawyers to provide pro bono legal services to victims of sexual violence as a way of helping them access justice and necessary legal support during this trying time. The Chief Judge, represented by Justice Adedokun Jibodu, made the call while delivering a keynote address titled Strengthening Legal Pathways for Survivors of Sexual Violence at a one-day Women Empowerment Program tagged Justice for Survivors of Sexual Violence. She stated that the theme of the sensitization program reinforces a call to action that strikes at the very heart of the judicial mandate to provide redress, protect the vulnerable, and affirm the rule of law. Now we go on a commercial break. When we return, we'll bring you more stories. Please don't go away.
All bets on sports. One is fair. Huge winning. One is fair. High odds. One is fair. Fast pay. One is fair. One is fair. Bookmaker Company.
Thank you very much for rejoining us. Abia State's Governor Alex Otte says his administration will begin the gradual payment of verified gratuity and pensions arrears owed since 2001. Otte gave the assurance while briefing journalists in Umuahia, the state capital. He said the state government had reviewed all pending pensions claims and worked closely with the pension union to verify outstanding gratuities before taking any payment decisions. Otte described the arrears as a very large number dating back over 20 years, adding that the government must confront inherited liabilities. Former President Goodluck Jonathan has described the recent military takeover in Guinea-Bissau as more painful to him than his loss to former President Muhammadu Buhari in the 2015 presidential election. Jonathan, who spoke in a video, said the development was particularly troubling because of his long-standing involvement in restoring democracy to the West African country. The former president had traveled to Guinea-Bissau as part of the West African Elders Forum to monitor the presidential and parliamentary elections. But while observer missions from the African Union, Economic Community of West African States, and other bodies were still carrying out their duties, the military seized power.
Election was a part of the West African Elders Forum. Normally, we are not co-observers, so we didn't deploy observation teams across, but we observed within Bissau, the capital, and the neighboring settlements. But during the meeting of all heads of observation missions, and they gave accounts of all the observers gave their account. Nobody gave something different. The elections were peaceful. Counting of results at the polling units peacefully done. The conduct of the electoral officials, the security, the party agents, the voters. It was a good election, and one expected the result to be announced. Then while they were collating the results, then they finished collating results. You know, results for presidential election are collated at different levels. Right. The 9 regions, results were ready. So they were collating them at the capital. And when they were almost through, and we're all waiting for the result to be announced, then Mbello announced that that's a coup. that they have taken over, they have arrested him. But from all indications, nobody arrested him. My conviction is that, and my charge to ECOWAS and AU is that they must announce their results. They have the results because AU and ECOWAS officials were at all the regions when the results were collated. They cannot change this.
Former Nigerian President Goodluck Jonathan speaking on the military takeover in Guinea-Bissau. United States President Donald Trump says the airspace above and surrounding Venezuela is to be shut down as tensions between the countries escalate. Trump's post on his social media X comes amid weeks of escalating rhetoric by senior U.S. officials against Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his government, while the Trump administration has said it is targeting Venezuela as part of a push to combat drug trafficking. Experts and human rights observers have warned that Washington appears to be laying the groundwork for an attempt to unlawfully remove Maduro from power. The U.S. has deployed an aircraft carrier to the Caribbean and carried out a series of deadly bombings on vessels it accused of being involved in drug trafficking, killing dozens of people in what United Nations experts have described as extrajudicial killings. And with that story from the U.S., we conclude the news tonight. But before we go, a quick look at the top stories. We told you that the state government has commended residents for their cooperation in this month of environmental sanitation and stressed the need for clean environment as festive season approaches. Commissioner for Environment Top Local gave the commendation while monitoring the exercise. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has rejected calls for negotiations with bandits, insisting that Nigeria must take decisive action and embrace international assistance to confront escalating insecurity. And finally, we brought to you the news that former President Goodluck Jonathan has described the recent military takeover in Guinea-Bissau as more painful to him than his loss to former President Muhammadu Buhari in the 2015 presidential election. And that's the news tonight. Thank you very much for watching. Good evening.